Hey everyone, my name is Ayman. I've been making manga for the past 8 years. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is I have seen massive growth in my skill set over the span of a single month by implementing this one technique. And when I don't implement them, that's when I stagnate. So stick around if you want to know what that is. Let's get on with the video. So what you're seeing me do here is take a course on black and white inking, right? So I'm focusing on inking specifically rather than on draftsmanship or posing or things like that. And first of all, that's what I want to talk to you about, okay? Is take your education and career fucking seriously. Throw some big boy dollars and actually take a course online. Colosso has great material on their website, right? I'm not sponsored, you can look at the view count, just letting you know, this is free. Just take it. I am taking one called Monochrome Illustration Techniques by Sungmoo Heo. Stop constantly relying on free videos and free courses, free software, and actually take your career progression seriously. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. First of all, is setting time for focused learning. And second of all, is setting up the finished piece. You put in hours on a drawing, focusing on the perspective, the characters, the posing. It's all very good. You keep trying to make it the best it can be. You keep drawing and redrawing and noodling and doodling away all day. You feel great, you're making the final touches, and then suddenly, whack, it goes wrong. And because of that last step, you're missing out on that regard and respect that you deserve. Because here's the thing, art is inherently superficial. The final finish is everything. So, first of all, I want you to know that if you're putting in the work, you're drawing every day, you're definitely getting better. Like, that is happening. So, props to you. But for some reason, it's just not going over that line. You're not doing that last 10% that changes people's perception of you. So, first of all, I want you to know that if you are putting in the work, you're drawing every day, you're definitely getting better. Okay? You're just not getting that regard for it. Certain types of layering just adds that sheen of gloss and professionalism that gets people to respect you. Get this final piece of it right, you will get way more likes and you will get way more respect and regard for it. You just clarify a little bit of the line quality or you add a bit of gloss to the coloring and you suddenly just get 5 times more likes for the same drawing. Then you can have a portfolio piece that lands you a gig with a game company or an art studio and have all this effort you put in pay off in your career. But to do that, first you need to know they don't care about your draftsmanship and imagination per se. Because the normies, the careerists, the American psychos out there snorting cocaine and, fiending for the next investment opportunity, they don't care. They don't really understand art. They might think they do, but only as a means to make money. They can never really explain or put into words why something is good or not, but you can. Really, what it comes down to is they like tits, they like bright colors, they like complex rendering, and that's about it. And so if you put that on top of whatever it is you draw, they're just gonna go, oh wow, you're a genius. You've been stuck tweaking and fine tuning everything for these people that will never get it and will never respect you for it. Now, what I want to leave you with, and this is the good news, is the simple fact that if you focus on drawing faster, the quality and final polish will also improve. Let me explain. And no, it's not just because you're drawing faster, therefore you're going to have more time to polish the piece, though that is an added benefit. If you keep drawing a line and then erasing half of it and then drawing that line and erasing half of it, you need to cut that shit out. No one else notices, and all it does is add to clutter and just makes it look ugly. The less clutter, the cleaner the lines, the more professional. And being decisive will create bolder choices. And the lines themselves will be stronger. Also, spending that long on anything gives diminishing return anyways. Drawing faster will also force you to stop and think. It also saves a lot of energy and concentration. We all have a fixed bandwidth on how much we can focus on one task, right? The more you obsess on one line, the more something else is going to be done worse. You are stealing time from your future self for no reason because you're nervous. Stop and consciously think of which line you're going to put down. Because there's different types of lines. There are three types of lines: soft lines, hard lines, and lines that start off hard and go soft. Yeah, all right, everyone. Here's a little demonstration of what I'm talking about with doing your line work and the three different types of lines. So, as you can see here, it's there's a little pencil drawing. This is for a manga I am currently working on. And basically, the protagonist is having his hands over his head like this, terrified. There's wolves basically killing and consuming his entire village. And this is kind of like a traumatizing scene that kicks off the entire story. But anywho, as you can see here, it's just a little blue pencil with some pen, and then I scanned and went over it, did some line art and shading to kind of figure out where it's going overall. But this is all just the planning stage. So this is where we do the actual inking. So this is all just to know where the arms go, where the hair goes, the facial expression, where the shadow will go, these kinds of things. And now that I know this, I can boom, do that. Lower the opacity so it's like we put a sheet of tracing paper over it. And now we stop and think. We stop and think and don't hesitate, right? So, for example, this nose will start light and then go dark, right? Let me do that again. Start light and go dark. And then the underside of the nose, as you can see, will be dark going to darker, right? And now things will be less messy. And even here, this little brow ridge here, this will be heavy here. All right, and then light fade off like that. Okay. And then this cheek here, it will go soft. So already there are three types of lines that have been used, right? This cheek right here, as you can see, is soft. It's a soft, round cheek that goes around the corner, right? I'm going to erase that arrow. And this here will be darker. And then this will be light. And then, but the fear, it needs to quiver. I need to quiver so that it implements the fear. But then I go dark and dark right here. And then the hair, it's a lot more satisfying if you make these swoops, have the swoops crisscross, and then erase. And then erase where they meet. That makes the hair feel like it's swooping in. Now actually, and this is kind of true for everything, if you don't like something, you know, trace it over one more time. Every time you trace over it, there is going to be a marked improvement. So here, what I've noticed is that the lines are a little too thin because this resolution is much higher than the last file I was working on. And so it's a lot better if I were to just go over some stuff I feel needs thickening and do it. As you can see, I'm focusing on the back side pause of every little strand of hair, just making sure that's thicker than the rest. So this is before, then cleaned up, and then added line variation. Again, you can see how adding the line variation just makes everything pop more and just gives everything that weight of legitimacy. You know, this is good for the emotion, but this plus this gives some of that legitimacy. And I'll add back the shading as well, but as you can see, line variation does a lot. So once you finish the construction phase and you're going to start putting some lines down, stop and go, which of the 3 lines am I going to put down here? And then commit. And now here's the real lesson of the video. No, the lesson isn't to draw faster. That was only one lesson I learned. From who? My mentor. Find people you admire and learn from them. My mentor was like, you're not drawing fast enough. I was like, what are you talking about? And he broke it down. So really, guys, go out there and touch some grass. Meet some people in real life. And throw down some cash for some real education. All right? Online courses are fine. I'm clearly using them. Join online communities and share your art there. Get a second opinion. You'll improve way faster there too. If there are any online courses that helped you out in particular, type them up in the comments. I'm definitely on the hunt for them, so it would be great if we can share. I might do a video on 3D tools next in the future. Let me know if you're interested.